Hello, this is me Rekha Sen on Swasthveksha. Today we are going over the meninges. Meninges are the protective covering of the brain and spinal cord. It is a three connective tissue which encircle the spinal cord and the brain. So let's get started.
See the picture of brain and spinal cord with their meninges. Innermost, which color as a black, this is the pia mater. Pia means soft, delicate, and matter means mother. Soft mother taking care of the CNS. It is a highly vascular and supply oxygen and nutrients to the spinal cord and brain. It is the thin, transparent connective tissue layer adhere to the surface of the spinal cord and brain. Pia mater consists of the squamous cuboidal cell. Then the second layer is arachnoid matter. As you can see, this blue line similar to the spider due to the multiple trabeculae, which is the connective tissue that gives web arrangement of delicate collagen and some elastic fibers. Then space between the pia and arachnoid matter is called a subarachnoid space. It contains a CSF, so it has a special importance in neurology. After that, the last and outermost protective layer just below the skull, which is orange line, it is the dura mater. Dura means tough and mater means mother, so tough mother taking care of the CNS. Same as our mothers look very strict, but they are such adorable and emotional from inside for her child. So just like that, CNS have the mother. Remember the coconut as well as dura mater is very tough and strong membranous structure composed of the dense and irregular connective tissue. It is start from the foramen magnum in occipital bone to the second sacral vertebra. Then, space between the arachnoid and dura mater, which contain an interstitial fluid called subdural space. And the space between the dura mater and wall of the skull is vertebral canal, is epidural space. And this have a clinical importance with hemorrhage, which we will discuss on my next lecture video. So, CNS have a 3 matter and 3 space. As you can see in this table, the first one is pia, arachnoid and dura mater, and the spaces are subarachnoid, subdural and epidural space. Pia mater, very delicate and highly vascular and closely covering all the surface of the CNS. When you look at the spinal cord, pia mater around the spinal cord make a very special structure which is called the denticulate ligament. What are the denticulate ligaments? Suppose this is the pia mater. Here the pia mater make a flattened projection outward, and this projection of pia mater, they are connecting pia to the subarachnoid space and through the arachnoid to the dura mater. The special feature of the pia mater is that the pia mater has a denticulate projection, means teeth-like processes. Each side there are 21 denticulate ligament. Arachnoid mater, not vascular and outside the pia mater, between the space pia and arachnoid mater, it is full of CSF. It's called subarachnoid space. Lower end of the spinal cord called conus medullaris. Pia is up to the conus medullaris, but arachnoid and dura going downward. Dural sac and dura, arachnoid up to the end. Only small string of the pia is going down from conus medullaris. This strings called the phylum terminals. So the phylum terminals is string of pia mater which extend from tip of the conus medullaris up to the second sacral vertebra, a point where a dura mater up to extending. CSF filled between the pia and arachnoid, so CSF extend into the space. In adult person, spinal cord terminate up to the second lumbar vertebra. Usually, we take samples of CSF through the lumbar puncture at L5, between L4 to L5 or L3 to L4. Mostly from L4 to L5 because it is safe and without risking injury to the spinal cord. Dura mater means tough mother taking care of the CNS. It is the outermost meningeal covering of the brain and spinal cord. Dura mater and its special foldings make many folds, but 4 are very important. The first one is the tentorium cerebelli, then falx cerebri, diaphragma celli, and the falx cerebelli. Tentorium cerebelli are fold of dura mater which basically making a notch here and it extending anteriorly. This fold attach with the glenoid process and progressively attach on the petrous part of the temporal bone in both sides. On the back attach with the parietal and occipital bone. All this green portion, it is dividing cranial cavity into the supratentorial compartment and infratentorial compartment. Dura mater from here moving like this and it fold this fold called tentorium cerebelli, and it's moving extension like this and extension like that anteriorly. Frontal lobe sitting here and temporal lobe sitting here and here. Dura mater make hole first of all here and some here bridges all the surface like this. There is a pons and medulla, and what is the emerging from here? It is midbrain. On the back, cerebellum. So these are the structure present in the infratentorial area below the tent. Other fold which start from the crista gyli. This fold is moving like this and it gets connected. Look, this is the one hemisphere and this is the other hemisphere. Fold starting from the front and passing through the fissure between two hemispheric backward posteriorly comes and attaches at midline top of the tentorium cerebelli. This fold called falx cerebri. So one fold is tentorium cerebelli which divide the cranial cavity into the supra and inferior compartment, and other fold is running anteroposteriorly vertically divide the supratentorial cavity into right half and left half. So what is the purpose of these folds? Mainly to prevent excessive movement of the brain within the cranial cavity. As example, by tentorium cerebelli create a supratentorial region and infratentorial region, then falx cerebri present in between the interhemispheric fissure. Through this fissure, falx cerebri present. So it stabilize supratentorial brain substance appropriately in the right and left chamber. One more fold at this point of dura mater which is present at above the sella turcica. What is the sella turcica? If you don't know, ask me in the comment section. Diaphragma celli consist of two leaves of dura mater that extend from the tuberculum celli over the sella turcica to the posterior glenoids. It is form a roof over the pituitary fossa and pituitary stalk is passing through this fold. Then clinical relevance is meningioma can be developed on this side. Then the falx cerebelli is fourth extension which is project downward from the tentorium cerebelli between the two cerebellar hemisphere. So how many extension of the dura mater are? 4. The first one is tentorium cerebelli, second is falx cerebri, third is diaphragma celli, and the last one is falx cerebelli. Dura mater is very sensitive to pain. We must know the blood supply of the dura mater. Brain substance itself is not pain sensitive. Brain does not have a pain receptor, but dura mater is pain sensitive. If dura mater is unduly stretched or hammered, it produces severe pain. We must know which part of the dura mater supply by which nerves. Okay, so nerve supply to dura mater into two parts we learned today. The first one is the supratentorial dura mater related with the anterior and medial cranial fossa, and infratentorial dura mater related with the posterior cranial fossa. From trigeminal ganglion, three division comes up. The first is ophthalmic, second is maxillary, and third is mandibulary. Actually, ophthalmic division gives branches to the dura mater of anterior cranial fossa, and maxillary division gives branches to the dural mater of the medial cranial fossa. Again, you are thinking why I am stressing so much. Because reason, if there is some tumor or some injury or pathological lesion in the supratentorial area involving a supratentorial meninges which disturbing supratentorial dura mater, pain will be referred in the ophthalmic region. So patient develops severe headache in forehead. Pain processes involve maxillary nerves branches. Pain will be referred to the maxillary division. So supratentorial dura mater supplied by the branches from ophthalmic division and maxillary division of trigeminal system. When there are lesion on the supratentorial region of the cranial cavity, when they involve dura mater of anterior cranial fossa or dura mater of middle fossa, patient will have a referred pain in forehead or maxillary region. Opposite to that, infratentorial region or dura mater of posterior cranial fossa, that is having a branch from vagus, the 10th nerve, or meningeal branch from C1, C2 and C3, the cervical nerves, which innervate the posterior cranial fossa along with meningeal branch of vagus. What is the importance? If there are pathological lesion like tumor present in the posterior cranial fossa, they will give a referred pain in back of the head and neck. So someone have a tumor in anterior cranial fossa, referred pain will be go on the forehead. And someone have a tumor in posterior cranial fossa, and of course tumor is stressing or disturbing the posterior cranial fossa, referred pain will be go on the neck. Epidural space is between dura mater and skull. Two type of epidural space. One is cranial epidural space in brain and another in vertebral epidural space in the spinal cord. Okay, so cranial epidural space is not actual space. It is the potential space between the periosteal layer and meningeal layer of the dura mater. Potential space is between two adjacent structures that are normally pressed together. If pathological condition in this area happen, epidural hemorrhage can occur. But in vertebral column, their epidural space is real space. Let me tell you how. This is the vertebra, this is the vertebral body, and this is the canal. Pia mater covering the spinal cord, then arachnoid mater. After that, meningeal dura mater, and outside is periosteum layer of dura mater. There is a real space is between periosteum and meningeal. So this actual space in vertebra, which has a full of loose areolar connective tissue with some lymphatics and some venous plexus, no CSF. CSF is only present in subarachnoid space. After this, we came to the some CSF filled and large areas called subarachnoid cistern. Let me tell you what is the subarachnoid cistern. In some areas in which CSF cavity become very large, look here, the junction of the cerebellum and the medulla. Here the pia is like this and arachnoid is like that. Cerebellomedullary cistern between cerebellum and medulla. Within the spinal cord, within it full of CSF, as it goes upward it enlarge like this, and some ventricles which called fourth ventricle. Within the spinal cord there is a longitudinal canal full of CSF. You have a fuller lecture on that, how CSF is produced, what are the ventricles, what are the different phenomena, how the CSF circulate. On next video. By right now you have to just trust me that within the spinal cord there is a canal which called CSF, which called CSF filled spinal canal. As you move with the spinal canal as to upper medulla opens up, dilate, called fourth ventricles. Now here it is a pyometer, and here there is a hole through which CSF is coming out on the back. On the back of the fourth ventricles posterior aspect there is a foramina which is opening into the subarachnoid space. This foramina called as foramina magendii. To the foramen magendii, CSF is coming into the which cistern? Cerebellomedullary cistern. Here the pia and arachnoid near to each other, and here also, but here there is a very big gap in which foramen magendii is throwing its CSF. So whole this area is called cerebellomedullary cistern. When look from posterior, this is spinal canal, this is the fourth ventricle. It has a two lateral opening, then becomes narrow as cerebral aqueduct. These are the foramen Lashka. And where was magendii? Magendii was something like this on the back. If I am standing on the fourth ventricle, anteriorly pons and medulla, posteriorly on the back cerebellum, and put my hands into the foramen Lashka, and then one legs move posteriorly into the foramen magendii and another keep standing into the spinal canal. Foramen magendii is opening into the cerebellomedullary cistern, and when I am putting my hands on side, CSF from the foramen Lashka is going out. On the lateral side, in the cistern which is the present between the cerebellum and the pons, it's called cerebellopontine cistern. From the front, we looking the midbrain. Anterior part of midbrain called cerebral peduncle. In between there is a big gap here, big gap in pia and arachnoid matter. Pia is attached with the peduncles and arachnoid is more interior. So this is the creation of another cistern. What is this? Cistern called interpeduncular cistern. On the back of the midbrain is cistern called superior cistern, and superior cistern and interpeduncular cistern, they are connected with the special type of CSF filled area. This is called ambient cistern. Okay, so this is the cerebellomedullary cistern and this is the cerebellopontine cistern, and superior and interpeduncular cistern, between them connecting ambient cistern. So we have just discussed about the subarachnoid cistern and where it is present according to that name: cerebellomedullary cistern, cerebellopontine cistern, interpeduncular cistern, superior cistern, and connecting the interpeduncular system and superior cistern, which is the ambient cistern. So today we had discussed about the meningeal layer and their extension. The pyometer has a denticulate ligament in spinal cord. Arachnoid and dura extend up to the phylum terminals. Extension of the dura mater separate parts of the brain. Tentorium cerebelli separate the cerebrum from the cerebellum. Falx cerebri, which is the sickle shaped, separate the two hemisphere side of the cerebrum. Then diaphragma celli, then falx cerebelli separate the two hemisphere of the cerebellum. Nerve supply of the dura mater: supratentorium dura mater supplied by the two branches of the trigeminal system, which is the ophthalmic and maxillary, and opposite to that, infratentorial region of the dura mater supplied by the C1, C2 and C3 cranial nerves along with the meningeal branches of the vagus nerve. Actual epidural space is present in vertebral column, but such actual space is not present in the cranial cavity. Only potential space there. Actual epidural space contain a loose areolar connective tissue, lymphatic and venous plexus, no CSF. Then the last thing is subarachnoid cistern, which are the cerebellopontine, cerebellomedullary, interpeduncular, superior and ambient cisterns. Okay.
Okay, so this video over the meninges. So thanks for watching. don't forget to subscribe our channel for more videos and share to your friends. It must be helpful in this quarantine time.